We want to look at physics for beginner, and in this episode today we'll be considering speed and velocity. Looking at speed and velocity. What is speed? Speed is a scalar quantity that refers to how fast an object is moving. It is defined as the rate of change of distance with respect to time. It is the rate of change of distance with respect to time. In other words, speed is a measure of how quickly an object covered a certain distance. Now I want you to repeat this after me. Speed is a scalar quantity. It means it has magnitude but no direction. Speed is a scalar quantity. And definition of speed, we say that speed is the rate of change of distance with respect to time. The rate of change of distance with respect to time. Can you say that with me? Speed is the rate of change of distance with respect to time. Again, speed is a rate of change of distance with respect to time. Now let's look at types of speed. One, we have uniform speed. An object moving at a constant speed is said to have uniform speed. An object moving at a constant speed is said to have uniform speed. For example, a car traveling at a constant speed of 60 km per hour on a straight line is said to have uniform speed. So an object moving at a constant speed is said to have uniform speed. Example is a car traveling at a constant speed of 60 km per hour on a straight line. Number 2, we have the variable speed. An object moving at a changing speed is said to have varied speed. An object moving at a changing speed is said to have varied speed. For example, a car accelerating from 0 to 60 km per hour is said to have a varied speed. So an object moving at a constant at a changing speed is said to have varied speed. Number 3 is instantaneous speed. Instantaneous speed. The speed of an object at a particular instant is called instantaneous speed. The speed of an object at a particular instant is called instantaneous speed. Now, under speed, we have mentioned 3 things. We've said that we have uniform speed, which is the speed of an object moving at a constant speed. So it's said to be uniform speed. Talk about the variable speed. Variable speed. That an object moving at a changing speed is said to have a variable speed. Example, one moving accelerating from 0 to 60 km per hour said to have a variable speed. Let's talk about the instantaneous speed, that the speed of an object at a particular instant is called instantaneous speed. And let's go to velocity. Velocity is a vector quantity that refers to the rate of change of an object's position with respect to time. The change of an object position with respect to time. Can you take that with me? I said velocity is a vector quantity and refers to the rate of change of an object's position with respect to time. The rate of change of an object's position with respect to time. It is defined as the speed of an object in a particular direction. The speed of an object in a particular direction. That's another definition. The speed of an object in a particular direction. In other words, velocity is a measure of an object's speed in a particular direction. Now let's look at the types of velocity that we have. One, we have uniform velocity. An object moving at a constant velocity is said to have uniform velocity. An object moving at a constant velocity is said to have uniform velocity. For example, a car traveling at a constant speed of 60 km per hour in a straight line. So an object that is moving at a constant velocity is said to have uniform velocity. A car traveling at a constant speed. Number 2 is the variable velocity. Variable velocity. An object moving at a changing velocity is said to have a variable velocity. An object moving at a changing velocity is said to have a variable velocity. For example, a car turning a corner or accelerating is said to have a variable velocity. And the third one is instantaneous velocity. The velocity of an object at a particular instant is called instantaneous velocity. For example, the velocity of a car at a particular moment on a curved road is said to be instantaneous velocity. So under this, we've looked at velocity as the rate of change of an object's position with respect to time. And we looked at the types of velocity. We mentioned uniform velocity, mentioned variable velocity, we mentioned instantaneous velocity. Now let's look at some keywords that we should note in this discussion. We've mentioned them in one way or the other. First one is direction. Direction. Speed is a scalar quantity and does not have direction, while velocity is a vector quantity and has both magnitude and direction. So speed is a scalar quantity and does not have direction, while velocity has both magnitude and direction. So we're looking at the difference between velocity and speed now. Key differences between velocity and speed. Number one is direction. Speed is a scalar quantity and does not have direction, while velocity is a vector quantity and has both magnitude and direction. Number two, change in position. Speed refers to the rate of change of distance, while velocity refers to the rate of change of position. So speed refers to the rate of change of direction, while velocity refers to the change of position, the rate of change of position. Then acceleration. An object can have a constant speed but changing velocity. Example is the turning a corner, while an object can with constant velocity has zero acceleration. Let's take it again. Acceleration. An object can have a constant speed but changing velocity, while an object with constant velocity has zero acceleration. So these are the key difference between the speed and velocity. I'll repeat it again. I said direction. That speed is a scalar quantity and does not have direction, while velocity is a vector quantity and has both the magnitude and direction. We talk about the change in position. That speed refers to the rate of change of distance, while velocity refers to rate of change of position. Acceleration, we said an object can have a constant speed but changing velocity, while an object with constant velocity has zero acceleration. Now let's look at few examples. Car traveling. A car traveling at a constant speed of 60 km on a straight line has a uniform speed but not uniform velocity, since it is moving in a straight line. I repeat, a car traveling at a constant speed of 60 km per hour on a straight road has a uniform speed but not uniform velocity, since it's moving on a straight line. Then an aeroplane flying at a constant speed of 900 km per hour in a straight line has both uniform speed and uniform velocity. An aeroplane flying at a constant speed of 900 km per hour in a straight line has both uniform speed and uniform velocity. A ball thrown upwards has a uniform velocity, but its speed decreases as it rises up, and its velocity changes direction as it falls. So this is another example. A ball thrown upwards has an initial velocity, but its speed decreases as it rises up, and velocity changes direction as it falls. Example of formulas now. The formula for speed is distance over time. Speed is distance over time. while velocity is displacement over time. Displacement over time. Displacement over time. Acceleration is change in velocity over time. Change velocity over time. I repeat, speed, the formula for speed is distance over time. The formula for velocity is displacement over time. The formula for acceleration is change in velocity over time. So in summary, today we've looked at speed and we've looked at velocity. We said that speed is a scalar quantity and that it refers to how fast an object is moving, and we said that it can be defined as the rate of change of distance with respect to time. And we mentioned few examples of types of speed. Talk about uniform speed as that is the speed when an object that is moving in a uniform speed is said to have uniform speed. An object that is moving at a constant speed is said to have uniform speed. Look at variable speed. Said an object that is moving at a changing speed is said to have a variable speed. We also looked at instantaneous speed, that the speed of an object at a particular instance is called instantaneous speed. We also mentioned velocity as a vector quantity that refers to the rate of change of an object's position with respect to time. We mentioned few examples of velocity. We said uniform velocity, that's when an object is moving at a constant velocity, it is said to have uniform velocity. Variable velocity, when an object is moving at a changing velocity, it is said to have variable velocity. So talk about instantaneous velocity, that's the velocity of an object at a particular instant is called instantaneous velocity. And we compare or make comparison between the speed and the velocity. We mentioned the first one, direction. With respect to direction, that speed is a scalar quantity and does not have direction, while velocity is a vector quantity that has both magnitude and direction. Look at the change in position. It says speed refers to the rate of change of distance, while velocity refers to the rate of change of position. Look at also that acceleration, considering acceleration, that an object can have constant speed but changing velocity, while an object with constant velocity has zero acceleration. We looked at example of car traveling, aeroplane flying in the air, and boat thrown up. And we close by looking at the formula of speed as distance over time, and velocity as displacement over time, as acceleration as change in velocity over time. Now, on the comment section, I want you to put down these answers. Now, list the three types of velocity that we have. List the three types of speed that we have, and try to mention the one that is most important among the three that you have mentioned, and also tell us or give us example of the ones you have mentioned. Give us at least just one example. So I'll be glad to see your comments, and I promise to also reply as soon as I see it. Thank you and have a beautiful day.